What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of BlackIron's battles. We're doing it live, folks. We've got the Queen and the Crone Warhammer 2 action. We're doing quick battles and we're on ladder and we're ready to go. We're taking these new dwarves and we're trying all sorts of stuff, man. I won like 9 games with the dwarves earlier. I'm just like trying all sorts of stuff to try to get this engineer going, man. I've been having a good time, changing up the meta since it's no longer just the Thane who's competitive to bring. So I'm facing off against the Chaos, and you see here I've got the dwarves. Let's go ahead and talk about my build here. First off, we've got an organ gun, and look at this. I think I spent 1500 on it. It's got 1 gold chevron, so it is gonna be accurate as hell. It's got some pretty good attack and better attack and defense. It's got better leadership. All the buffs that come with getting that high chevron unit. We've also got the Dragonback Slayers here. We've got 2 groups of Thunders. We do have the Master Engineer here, and if we take a look, let's go ahead and take a look at him. All right, and you can see him there with his flintlock. Ballistics calibration, 30% accuracy. Then we've got the Prospector Spyglass, 18% accuracy. So when this is active, it's active for a minute. And then it has a 90-second cooldown, so it's got a pretty good uptime. We've also got like explosion, armor piercing, everything. So these guys are just ready for some damage. We've also got 2 groups of Trollhammer Torpedoes, Irondrakes. So look at these guys; they're ready. You can see those Trollhammer Torpedoes are awesome looking, man. We've also got a front line here, Grumbling Guard. So it was suggested to me to bring in the Grumbling Guard to let their aura keep the vigor up of my artillery unit. So I'm going to give that a try, I think. We've also got some Longbeards here in the front just to perform, to be just strong up there, to be pretty much the anvil there. We've got some Longbeards with great weapons over on the flanks. So put together with the Grumbling Guard, which also have great weapons. We've got 2 great weapons, 2 regular Longbeards, and we do have Thorgrim Grudge Bearer here. And you can see he's got this new ability, the Oath of Vengeance, which has got a 60-second cooldown. It lasts for 44 seconds, so it's really actually up pretty often, minus 27 melee defense. So you can do some extra damage. We've also got, of course, the Great Book of Grudges, giving 9 melee attack. And look at Thorgrim there with that axe. So he is ready to do some damage. He's ready to chop apart some Chaos mutants. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Chaos. So they also got some fun stuff, of course. We've got the Demon Spew over here, the Forsaken. They're almost always in here because they've got really good melee attack and that poison. We've also got some Chaos Marauders over here with great weapons, a front line with Chosen. So you see Chosen with great weapons. There's some more Chaos Warriors with great weapons. You can see those Chosen, and they're just super heavy armor. We see there's some more Chosen with great weapons, and I feel like these are some of the best infantry in the game with 46 melee defense. I mean, the big thing you bring them for is the armor piercing. You can see just tons of armor piercing across. So 3 Chosen with great weapons, 2 Chaos Warriors with great weapons, and 3 Chosen with great weapons. And then we've also got, some Chaos Marauders with great weapons. So all great weapons all the time. You can see there we've got a Chaos Sorcerer Lord. So that's pretty, actually, let's see, what's going on that? That's a little different. Normally people don't bring Caster Lords, as there's not a huge benefit to bringing them. You can see here he's got okay stats, though. 90 armor, I mean, for a caster, it's pretty good. He's got Transmutation of Lead, Plague of Rust, Searing Doom, so he's actually, he's brought a full complement of spells, and he's ready to try to debuff and do some damage with the Lore of Metal. Here we go, the Mirror Guard, my favorite, Chaos Warriors, Prince Sigvald's chosen few. You can see there, and their armor is polished to a sheen, so that he can see himself all the time, so that Prince Sigvald can always see himself when he's surrounded by his warriors. We've also got some more Chaos Marauders, and here in the back, the Weird Spawn. Oh man, those guys are so awesome. Look at that. Look at that tongue coming out of there. I mean, these things are gross. But they do have that armor sundering effect, which is just huge, that minus 30 armor. So you can see the build that's up against me here is pretty much great weapons and armor sundering units. I mean, there's the Demon Spew and a little bit, but we'll just go ahead and see how it goes, man. We've got a lot of ranged units, so it's going to be important that we engage from far away as soon as possible. So if you take a look here, we're just going to start moving up. I'm trying to get in place, and what I want is this organ gun up here to be right here on the edge, and just so I can fire straight down this flank. And you see here, there's going to be just expensive units all over the place, just ready for me to shoot at. So that's going to be one nice thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at that first volley. You see it go in there, and it does take out a good number of health off the Chosen. You see there's no dead models. They all get back up, but we're going to just keep firing. You see there are a couple more models go down. Still not taking any model losses though. So at the same time, you know, as they march in, we'll slowly get more and more damage done. Hopefully, you can see that actually some Chaos Warriors have been killed. But at the same time, we're just kind of positioning. You see here, we're going to move our Thunders up. We do have that ballistics calibration in effect from the Master Engineer, so there's just gonna be a tons of accuracy and reload speed on. You can see there. Oh man. Searing Doom coming right down on top, doing a little bit of damage actually, pretty good against those Thunders. And at the same time, you see here, he's starting to move those Chaos Warriors real close. There's a huge clump of them. If I can get some shots into that, that is going to be the ticket. Let's go ahead and get a look at these dwarves here. You can see them just loading and firing, loading and firing. This is a civil war all over again, and we're gonna have to move up these Irondrakes, and we're gonna move back the Thunderers. So those Irondrakes, you can see them start to fire in, and there we go. There's some big damage getting done to that group of units there. And you see there's more. I mean, these group is already down to half health, and we're gonna start charging in. Oh, Thorgrim fake out. At the same time, these Chaos Marauders, they're gonna be hit by the Dragonback Slayers. So now they're slowed a little bit. We do have some more Searing Doom getting dropped on our heads, but because of the innate magical resistance of the dwarves, we're doing okay. You see these Irondrakes over here. We're trying to get some separation so that we can get some more shots in there. Over here on the right, the Longbeards with great weapons are engaged against these Chaos Marauders with great weapons, and they're going to hold their own just fine. I mean, we're doing all right. You can see Thorgrim's here, and he's giving that buff. So all of these units are have a melee attack buff because of Thorgrim's Book of Grudges. But at the same time, a big transmutation of lead coming down, but not doing a ton of health damage. Oh man, look at that. That was just a nasty shot. Those Mirror God are getting taken apart. You can see the Thunderers up on the hill now, and we are just all raining hellfire down. Look at these dwarves. You see them taking shots right into the side of those Mirror Guard, and all I want to do is take those Mirror Guard apart. The Mirror Guard are going to try to get in the back here. You know they're going to try to get to the Thunderers, but if we can stop them, that's... Oh man, there's another Searing Doom. So he's actually keeping that armor piercing bonus working pretty heavily though. The more times he casts a spell, the more bonus he'll get. But at the same time, you see we're still holding up this hill fine. You see the organ guns here is up to 72 kills. Let's see if we see it take a shot. You see it get some hits off on these Chosen over here, and they're going to get smacked. So we've got Trollhammer Torpedoes. You see this Mirror Guard is here, but they're pretty much completely surrounded by Irondrakes and Thunderers. I mean, if we can just get a little bit of separation, we'll be okay. You see the balance of power is pretty much in my favor. Although we have a few less troops, our troops are of really good quality. You see here the Master Engineer with ballistics calibration again. He's just standing in here giving that buff to everybody. You see these Thunderers are pretty much taking out these Weird Spawn on their own. I mean, you get the Master Engineer in here, you get everyone firing at those Weird Spawn, and those things are just toast. I mean, they've only got 10 armor, and since they're large units, they're just really easy to hit. Over here on the right, the Mirror Guard are finally routed off. These Dragonback Slayers are getting in here. You know, they're gonna do good work against these Mirror Guard. Over here on the left, you can see there's some shots coming at that Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal, and he's got to be pretty far down on the Winds of Magic at this point. You can see Thorgrim is still pretty heavily, and you see Ballistics Calibration is up again. But Thorgrim's, like, you know, got plenty of health left. These Chaos Marauders and Chosen down here, I mean, we can take a look, and you see them just bodies everywhere. And you see Thorgrim up on top of his mount. Oh, there come the Trollhammer Torpedoes coming in. You can see the Forsaken running in the back, but at this point, there's not a lot of time left. It's a little too late. The balance of power, even though we have the same number of troops, a lot of his troops are broken, and I think that the Chaos Sorcerer Lord is pretty heavily damaged here in the back. You can see him using Arcane Conduit just to try to get a little bit more off. But up on the top here, these Thunderers are still holding strong. We've got a little bit more separation over here on the right with this group of Thunderers, and you can see there's just carnage everywhere. This is... Oh... This is nasty, but I mean, these Grumbling Guard in here, they're doing all right. There's a few of them left, 19 models. You see them in here. See them just covered in blood. You can see the weird spawn bodies. I mean, there's bodies everywhere. Dead dwarves. They're gonna go ahead and rout off those chosen, and that'll be it. Oh man. So that was actually, I mean, that was kind of exactly what we had hoped. I mean, you saw we were able to use this hill to our advantage, and you can see just a huge number of corpses down here. So the fact that actually, I will say that a lot of the line of sight issues with gunners have been worked out. They're still not perfect, but they're a lot better than they used to be. So you know, we were able to actually use those Trollhammer Torpedoes to good effect here, and you just see the massive amount of bodies over here. You know, we were able just to slay a bunch of those units with our high ground and armor piercing. Even though against some units like the Weird Spawn, you don't even need the armor piercing. But if we take a look at this post-game wrap-up, we've got Thorgrim, Grudge Bearer, so plenty of health, same as the Master Engineer, and actually the Grumbling Guard have been doing really well. They're in there, they're giving that vigor bonus. They were keeping people happy, keeping them firing. They get a lot of kills themselves, and so you see here, I mean, you know, we did pretty well. The Longbeards in front, they killed Chaos Marauders, they killed some Chaos Warriors, maybe a few Chosen. You saw these Dragonback Slayers getting in the back there, killing Mirror Guard, but just 105 kills with the organ gun. It did what we wanted, although it did end up going down in the end. I mean, 105 kills is exactly what we had hoped for, especially against only 748 of these chaos units. I mean, we tossed some good shots into those chosen. I mean, a majority of the time I was either firing at chosen or weird spawn. So, you know, we're actually able to get some really good hits off. You saw the Thunders, the terrain especially. I mean, you wouldn't think that map would be great for ranged units, but if you kind of tuck yourself up in there and you get some shot and you have some long range units, I mean, look at those Irondrakes were just blasting. They were able to do tons of health damage. So, you know, on these grouped up chaos units, those Trollhammer Torpedoes just ripped through them. But it was great overall. I mean, just pretty balanced, and you know, it went exactly kind of the way I wanted. If we take a look here at the Warriors of Chaos, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord of Metal, I think that I would have rather, against the Dwarves, I would rather have Sartorial, just because he's so hard to stop, and he can just move, and he has, you know, that extra resistance to ranged unit. Sartorial, I mean, if you want to bring a Metal caster, he's awesome. I don't know, you know, it might be a little cheaper to bring the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, but I don't know. I mean, it just definitely doesn't have the survivability that Sartorial has. Now we've also seen the Chaos Marauders up front. We didn't really have anything for them to hit. The Longbeards are you know, tier 2 infantry. These Chaos Marauders in the front line, tier 1, even with their armor piercing, they just weren't able to you know, get it done. You saw the Chaos Warriors. I mean, some of them actually took good shots from those Thunders, and also from the Irondrakes. I mean, there was just, you know, even though so the front line kind of crumbled a little bit quicker, same as the Mirror Guard. I think they were overextended. The Demon Speed just got ripped apart. And just like always, those strong chosen with great weapons, they did make it till the end, but we were able to, you know, use the ranged units to kind of cut them down too. I don't know if you're using the chaos against a build like this, where there is a bunch of ranged dwarves, you've got to get on top of these ranged units as soon as possible. You saw we were trying to stop him, obviously, but if he had just kind of went wide and tried to get around the edges, use the speed of these Forsaken and something like that to get in the back there. I mean, I think that's kind of what he tried. If I hadn't had that upper ground, it may have been a little different. But, you know, this time it worked out for the Dawi, and we did the ancestors proud. So I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. And, you know, I did just move into a rental house now, so I'm out of the hotel. I should be getting back to more regular content soon. The move, you know, you guys probably noticed I haven't been putting stuff up the last few days with the move and everything. I haven't really had time, but I'm set up on a folding table now, and we'll see how it goes. So thank you guys all so much for the support. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe below for more great online content. This is BlackIron, and this has been another one of BlackIron's Battles.